a hard from campus. Come on, take me back one. Campus connection, yeah, and that's a one. Yeah, walk on from campus. How we are carry lot from campus. Come on, take me
Somebody is very excited this evening. I wonder why. Maybe because it's Campus Connection here on the Family Station, Love 101. And we're in a festive mood, myself. I'm Jonathan, by the way, and I'm joined, thankfully, by my co-host. And Nesta is here, people. And Nesta is here.
Yes, and have you noticed anything at all?
No, just see here. Just I don't know. It looks like you're here. I'm not sure. But just in case you're wondering what she's talking about, you need to jump on the live. Just in case you're in Radio Land, you need to jump on the live. We're kind of festive. I mean, people, Anesta messaged me before the show. Before the show, asking me to wear something festive, and I'm like, what am I going to find right now? So I just draw for a green shirt, because
it works. And guys, he has the whole red lights in the background going on.
A little Christmas feeling, you understand?
Love it. Look, this is why I feel like we're bringing in the Christmas holidays, and this time of year, it's a festive time, but it's also just that time of year when, there's just this peace over the earth. Everybody is excited to share with family and friends. And this particular episode of Campus Connection, we want to go out with a bang. We don't just want to do it regular, but we want to be festive, That's why we invite everyone. If you're ready for the Christmas break, we want you to jump on to the live stream and comment and let us know if you're #ready for Christmas.
Yeah, but we want to know what you're going to be doing this Christmas season. But before we get into the show, we want you to understand that Campus Connection is proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. So we're going to pause for our cause because we have to take a word from our sponsor.
See all my other face bruise up? They beat me just because I said I'm tired.
I'm only 13, but I said if I work harder, they will make me go back home.
Me not have no birth paper nor an ID. Them have all of my documents them. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station, 119 or 888-PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Where are the campus lights? Students are strapped up in a price.
That's right. You are listening to Campus Connection, and in this episode, we're closing out the year with a bang. We're talking about resilience education. It's our final show for 2025, and we definitely want to look even closer at what resilience education is. And it's critical at this time, Jonathan. It's a subject matter that can be used to help to heal so many people, even to convey understanding of what has happened, with us as a nation, and where do we really go from here? How do we pick up the pieces? And so many of us are looking forward to that time of year, but some persons are, they might be facing depression because of everything that has happened this past year. And we don't just want to overlook what everyone is going through, but we definitely want to go deeper in that. So we have a discussion on resilience education for this program. But before we get there, we have a special testimony, and it will be brought to us by Anselina Booth, a year 2 student at the University of the West Indies. And then we also have education news and bulletin after that. And I Chose Christ, which is our testimony feature. We're certainly looking forward to that. So, Jonathan, this testimony is by Anselina, and she talks a little bit about overcoming suicide. Now, guys, you definitely want to listen into this one.
Absolutely.
Hello, my name is Anselina and I am a student at the University of the West Indies. My testimony actually started with, my journey towards Christ actually started with a series of suicidal attempts, and the thoughts were actually, they had been plaguing my mind since as early as 10 years old. However, my first attempt was at 12. When I was 15, everything had gotten much worse with that situation, so I was attempting much more than usual, and it was just so many failed attempts. And then one night something happened, and then I usually have this a bottle of painkillers in my possession, and by this the painkillers were actually finished. So when I was looking for that bottle of painkillers to just take them at one time and end my life, I remember that, oh, they're finished, so I can't, turn to that option. So the only pills that were in my possession were vitamin C pills. So I took those, and I took about 12 to 15 of them, hoping that I would successfully overdose and unalive myself. And I went to bed at night hoping that I would have been successful in my attempt. I was hoping that I would have gone away, that I wouldn't wake up. I even painted my nails because I said I wanted to die with pretty nails. I was going to even put on a pretty dress, but then I said, that's too much effort and I just want to leave this place. So I went to my bed hoping that that would have been the last day that I would have been here on earth. And then the following morning I woke up and I was genuinely confused. I was thinking, why am I still here? What did I do wrong? And that was the most ungrateful that I had ever felt in my entire life. I just broke down crying. I kept on saying to myself, why am I still here? What did I do wrong? And then when I finally got a hold of myself, I went on my phone and I searched up whether it was possible to overdose on vitamin C. And then Google said, no, it's not possible. So I had realized in that very moment that God is very intentional, because if I had that bottle of painkillers, I don't remember what type exactly, but if I had that bottle of painkillers in my possession at the time, I would have swallowed all of them and I wouldn't be here today. Thank the Lord that they were finished, and thank the Lord that they were nowhere to be found. And if I had a different nature of pills in my possession, I would have also had taken that, and I probably wouldn't have been here today. But thankfully, the only thing that I had access to was vitamin C, and thankfully, I didn't know that it was incapable of killing someone. You cannot overdose from vitamin C, because back then I was about 15 years old. Yes, this happened on the night of July, on the morning, of July 5th, 2020. So I was 15 years old, and based on how determined I am, if I had known that that the vitamin C tablets couldn't do it, I would have gone ahead and acquired other pills, over-the-counter medications that I could use, and I would not be here today. So I'm telling you, this is how intentional God is. He restricted my knowledge at the time. He made sure that the pain tablets were completely finished and that they were nowhere to be found. So in that very moment when I had learned this, I started to think to myself, well, if I attempted so many times and I kept on failing, that must mean that the Lord actually wants me here, So I thought to myself, if God actually wants me here, then, if He actually sees some purpose, some meaning in my useless life, then I'm just gonna start living for God, since He sees some use for it, and since He's keeping me alive. I'm just gonna give my life to the Lord, since He wants it. Since He's the only one that loves me and wants me here, then I'll just give my life to God and start serving God. And that's where everything began. I started praying more and reading my Bible more, and I stopped attempting suicide, thankfully. However, the thoughts were still plaguing my mind because I was still in that situation, and there's not much that I could do, especially considering my age at that time. However, the Lord had completely delivered me from suicidal thoughts at around age 16, when I had gotten this dream. And I had gotten the same dream multiple times. So in the dream, I was doing the same thing, running around the house looking for something to either hang myself or to overdose with. In the dream, there was this argument, and I was running around the house looking for something to, end my life. And I just heard the Lord stop me in my tracks. He was like, "Stop. This is not what I want for you. This is not what I want you to do with the life that I had given you." The Lord basically let me know that He doesn't want me to be doing this. He doesn't want me to be thinking these things, and He doesn't want me to be attempting to do these things. So he basically let me know that I need to stop this, because this isn't what He wants for me. This isn't what He wants me to be doing with my life. So that's my testimony. Thank you so much for listening.
Wow. And you may be wondering why we would have shared that testimony here on Campus Connection this evening. The truth is that the holidays are not as festive and fun and all of those things for a lot of people. A lot of people are going through seasonal depression. They're experiencing suicidal ideation, stuff like that. So it's very important for each and every one of us to be very kind, especially during the holiday period. I mean, every single day we should be kind, but for those who you may have, a friend or a family member or somebody that that all of a sudden they don't seem like themselves during the holiday period. It's okay to reach out to them, ask them how they're doing, try to be there for them, help them, and all of that. It's super, super important.
Absolutely. And as you said, Jonathan, there's so many people that's going through this right now. And you might be one of them that might be going through those suicidal thoughts. And we want to encourage you, just like you heard from our second year UE students, that the Lord made her know that He loved her and that He has a plan for her life. It's the same thing that He's saying to you, that there is a plan for it. Sometimes it's hard to even believe that, Jonathan, but just know that if you're struggling during this season with your worth, with your identity, with why are you even here, there is a plan. God does have a plan for your life, and you can trust and you can grow to know more about that plan. And so we just wanted to encourage you with that. We are jumping to a quick break, but when we return, more Campus Connection inside of this episode.
The time that Grace could move is
5:45.
See all my adult face bruise up? They beat me just because I said I'm tired.
I'm only 13, but I said if I work harder, that will make me go back home.
Me not have no birth paper nor no ID. Them have all of my documents them. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station 119 or 888-PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
The National Housing Trust has an important disaster relief advisory. Mortgage payments are suspended until April 2026 for NHT mortgages residing in St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Manchester, and St. Anne. Other affected mortgages may also apply for consideration by January 30, 2026. Forms are available at www.nht.gov.jm. For more information, visit their website or dial toll-free 888-CALL-NHT.
Every Christmas, Auntie Yvonne gives her all to help those around her. Down to the last malta she have. She always say, do good and good will find you. So I grabbed a couple cold malta out of my cooler and gave it to her. She smiled, we stood up and started helping, lifting and sharing what little we had. That is what the good you give does in the festive season. It makes others want to give and helps lift somebody else up.
DNG Malta, the good you give.
Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price. We see yeah.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection, proudly brought to you by Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. If you're just joining us, please, we're asking you to jump on the Facebook live stream, the TikTok live stream, or the YouTube live stream at Love 101 Jamaica. And we want to hear from you. It's the last show for 2025. You can reach out to us via WhatsApp at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. Come talk with we, reason with we, make you know the plan that you have for Christmas. What do you plan to do and all of that? We really want to hear from you this evening.
Yes. And, even just before the break, we were sharing on overcoming suicide. And we have some information for you on some suicide prevention tips, especially during the holidays. But before we even get to it, Jonathan mentioned we do want to hear from you concerning what will you be doing this Christmas to help the less fortunate in society. So we know we normally, give out meals. Some persons make it their point of duty to give a gift here and there. But what about those persons who aren't in your circle? How can you reach out to them? Those who are less fortunate, people who have lost their homes, they have lost their jobs, they have lost so much because of the hurricane and because of other things. What will you be doing to help the less fortunate this Christmas? That's what we want to hear from you. And if you are one of those that's struggling with suicidal thoughts, we want to encourage you with some of these tips. And the first one, Jonathan, is seeking emotional support.
Yes.
How important that is. There's this idea trending on social media right now about nobody's coming to your rescue. Nobody's coming to save you. You're going to have to be the hero of your story and all these things. And a lot of times persons who are believing that and saying that are not leaning into their community, the people that God has placed around them to be able to be that support and that strength. And so if you feel like you're struggling this holiday season, the first thing we want to encourage you to do is to seek that emotional support. Go spend quality time with someone. Put your phone down and actually have real conversations. Reach out to family, reach out to friends, reach out to support groups. Actually share how you feel and just the experiences that you've been having. It really does help. They say confession is good for the soul. It really does help to seek emotional support.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's also important for you to see how best you can participate in social programs, engage in social, emotional support programs such as support groups, groups that really foster healthy social interactions. And it's very important for you to stay connected, communicate as much as possible. I know it's difficult sometimes and you don't want to talk and stuff like that, but it's so important for you to talk about what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, stuff like that. And most importantly, I know a lot of persons may not want to agree or they're not inclined to agree with this, but I'll boldly say prayer is so important. So important. Talking to the Lord about how you feel, talking to the Lord about what you're experiencing on the inside. It's super important. I cannot
and
stress
allowing
that
the
enough.
Lord to talk to you, like leaning on the word of God to just renew your mind.
Absolutely. So important that you do that. But at the end of the day, it's also important to know, and it's a beautiful thing. Even in disaster, you're seeing the hearts of people, you're seeing the love. When you look on the love that's being poured out. I know a lot of people are planning to go down to the western side of the island during the Christmas break to really help out as much as they can, to bring a little Christmas cheer, a little Christmas festivity to that side of the island. I see corporate entities already doing that, and I must say that is such a beautiful thing to experience, that we can really come together as a people in a very serious way to really help our brothers and sisters who have suffered at the hands of the terrible hurricane that happened recently. And so I'd encourage you, our listeners, our viewers, to really see how best you can jump in as best as possible. And speaking of jumping in, we are going to jump right into our main segment, where we'll be talking about resilience, education, something that they'll call it a buzzword.
Yeah. I believe we have I Chose Christ first, and then we jump to our main segment, and we have another powerful testimony just before that main segment.
Hi everybody, my name is Sebastian Downer. I am a university student studying law at the University of the West Indies Mona campus. For me, why I chose to serve Christ, it's a question that I ask myself every single day, to be honest with you. But I chose to serve Christ because I know that serving Him is something that we ought to do. It's not really a choice, it's something that we have to do. Because in doing so, it helps us to have a peace, serenity overall. Just knowing you can talk to God at any point of time in the day, and knowing that God is always going to be there for you. Just knowing that is so important, right? And what I do want to say is that knowing Christ is literally the best thing you could ever do for yourself. Knowing Him, having a relationship with Him is the best thing you can do, because even spending 5 minutes a day with God alone makes the world of a difference.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. Thank you so much, Sebastian Down, a law student at the UA, sharing why you chose Christ. So very important. And if you want to share why you chose Christ, you can send your testimony audio to love101campusconnection@gmail.com. Just send us an email at love101campusconnection@gmail.com. So yes, it's now time for our main segment, and we'll be talking about resilience education. We're joined this evening with resilient guests from Western Jamaica, Mrs. Eileen Kohal Bailey, master teacher and JHEA research chair. We have Miss Walker, Students' Council president at the Manning School, and of course, Miss Bremer, head girl at the Manning School, as they share about supporting each other and working towards a bright future. Ladies, good evening and welcome to Campus Connection.
Welcome, welcome.
Good evening. Good evening. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. All right, so you are from the Manning School, and we've seen Mannings in the news. A bit of I don't want to use the word disaster, but that I've seen the pictures and the videos, the devastation around. Firstly, let me ask, how are you guys doing? Deja?
Hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Currently, not too bad. I have definitely gotten much better now than compared to immediately after the storm. I mean, coming back to school or going back to school, it took a lot. But being there, being in that new environment, knowing that we are surrounded by people who went through the same things as we did, and we are able to come out of that, seeing the teachers, I know that teachers were terribly impacted, and they're there daily with us and they're putting out. So going back to school, it was really instrumental in bringing back some hope.
Wow. Zaisha, what about you?
Okay, so same for me as well. I've been feeling much better as it has been a month since hurricane has passed. As Deja mentioned, also going back to school, speaking with my peers, and just sharing our opinions and our experiences throughout this time. It has really helped me a lot mentally and emotionally throughout this recovery process. So I'm feeling great.
And, we know that there are so many who are impacted and still trying to pick up the pieces from Hurricane Melissa. And that's why we chose to talk about resilience education for this particular episode. So, ladies, let me ask you, what role would you say resilience education plays in us just picking up the pieces, coming back from what seems to be just the worst hurricane experience we could possibly have as a nation? Deja, let me start with you.
Okay. So resilience education is all about coping, learning different coping mechanisms, how to come back. We experienced a very traumatic event. So learning how to cope with that. Listening to the previous testimonies about suicide, how traumatic events like these, the toll that it can take on your mental state. It is very essential. It plays a crucial role.
Okay. Resilience education, it really does play a big role as it helps recovery. It really does help the students to cope better, by encouraging, teaching healthy ways to manage stress, by helping students to just regain focus after all that has happened. So it is really important in these times.
Wow. And the truth is there are a lot of students who have been displaced because of Hurricane Melissa, and I'm so proud that they're finding their way back into the classroom, whether it's a makeshift classroom or their regular classroom. I'm just really proud of how we are pushing through regardless of the situation that is around us, the conditions that we see on a daily basis. A lot of Jamaicans are picking up the pieces and really, really pushing forward by the grace of God. We're going to take a quick break, but we want you to stick and stay with us. More Campus Connection after these messages.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6 o'clock. Me just never did I get through with no work, you know. And me did I get desperate. Till one day me see one ad, but them want somebody for work at a massage parlor. Trust me, the place was nothing like them advertised. From the very first day, I had to be giving much more than massages.
Verify the legitimacy of job advertisements with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. To report suspected cases of human trafficking, call the nearest police station, 119 or 888-PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Magic sparkling non-alcoholic wine, guaranteed to have a good time.
White grape, red grape, strawberry, peach. Any celebration, the buckle up reach. Pink and blue magic, papa baby shower. Mixed fruit, pineapple, coconut, good for every hour. I'm the Jamaican sorry. Mix or straight, everybody can manage.
Make magical moments with Magic Sparkling.
Okay, where are the campus heights? Students are strap up in a price.
Welcome back to Campus Connection, which is proudly brought to you by the Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from the Ministry of National Security and Peace. Now, just before the break, we were talking a little bit on resilience education, what that actually means. And we are joined by Miss Zaisha Walker. She's a student council president at the Manning's School, and also Miss Deja Bremer, the head girl at Manning School. We have on the line with us Mrs. Eileen Kohal Bailey, a master teacher and the JHEA research chair. Now, we wanted to know, Mrs. Kohal Bailey, just how do you explain the impact or the potential impact that resilience education could have on the students, the staff members, just the school community as a whole, given what we've just been through as a nation with Hurricane Melissa?
Thank you for having me. I will begin by saying when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. As when we think of resilience, we're looking at how are we going to be facing life's ups and downs. We plan to withstand, recover, and grow. But to be exact about resilience education, it is the use of time and subject matter content to help heal, to convey understanding about what has happened and is happening, and also bring hope from applicable principles. We know that in the school system, education system, there are a lot of persons, there are stakeholders. And if we just come back to, our small community, first and foremost, we're looking at our parents, our students, our teachers, our administration, and also our support staff. We were impacted. I know that in the West, we had it real hard. And when it comes to our school, Manning School, it leaves a pain because we're looking at our building, which is our historic building, which is the Manning School, the Thomas Manning building, and it's flat on its face, figuratively speaking. But we might think that it is the end. But looking at this thing now, is resilience. We need to withstand. We need to recover. We need to grow. We have to look at what has happened, what is happening now, and then have a look at the future. What has happened, we all know, we heard the news, and many of us have experienced in one way or the other what Melissa has done.
Yeah.
Melissa, if we should do a puzzle now and say, all right, to brainstorm, what are the pieces that you're looking for? We're looking for roofs. We're looking for zinc. We're looking for nail. We're looking for board. We're looking for beds. We're looking for doors and windows and mattresses. And I'm telling you, we are also looking for, that stability. We are looking for it. And how are we going to get it? As a nation, we have to work together. because we have to look at families. Would be a small community within a larger community, or school is a community within a larger community, and then we branch off into society, into Jamaica, and also the world, because within the world we have relatives abroad, all over this world. So we are touched. Everybody has been touched. We are facing it, but we have to think of ways. So we have to look at there's time that has been lost. We have to use the time that we now have wisely.
Yeah.
We have to help each other. So if it's going to be group work, we have to collaborate. So it's going to be school reaching out to parents, parents reaching out to school. The teachers we have experience a lot too. So when these students come to us, we have faced our challenges. But because we have faced our challenges, for myself, I have been through it. I lost my roof, water came in, all of that.
Yes.
But when I get back out there, I'm saying to myself, I can touch lives because I've been through it. So I can empathize with my students. I can show them my pictures, my videos, and say, you're not in it alone. And even for persons who have not experienced what we are experiencing, we are saying we still need a shoulder to lean on. We need your encouragement. Okay?
Absolutely.
Or it might not be that you want to give us cash and kind and things, but just being an encourager. So as an institution or the education system as a whole, we have to reach out to trusted partners, to organizations and persons who are genuine, because we do not want them to creep in like wolves in sheep clothing and to, mess up things. But we are grateful for those who have reached out already. I know it's not just from my school, but there are other schools, persons or organizations who have reached out, or have given sponsorships and donations and grants and whatever way that they would have done so. And
Absolutely.
Hello?
Absolutely. Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes. And I must give a big shout out to Dr. Winsome Gordon, the Chief Executive Officer of Jamaica Teaching Council, and Dr. Joseph Thomas, the Director of the Master Teacher Unit. They came in person. And there are teachers who are saying that Dr. Gordon reached out to them, called them on the phone. So it became personal. So they are realizing that there's somebody out there that really cares, not only for my school, but she has visited other schools. So we are saying thank you for that support. And for my school, I know that OUR is reaching out. And so I am anticipating
so important
through this week, God's willing, through Mrs. Frey Johnson. And I'm saying for everybody who has come on board, not only for Manning School, but for other schools, we are grateful. Our students are grateful.
Absolutely.
We will not relent. We will move forward.
That's right.
We know that the nation's future is in our hands. So
absolutely.
As an educator, I will not relent. And I know that there are others out there like myself who will not relent. We know that we have our situation and we have to first take care of ourselves, because if you cannot take care of yourselves, then if you don't love yourself, how will you love your neighbor? So self-care is important.
So very important.
Use each moment as a teachable moment. Use everything that surrounds all of the situation as a teachable moment. Some of the problems that would come up is that some children, their parents would have lost jobs, because we're talking about the stakeholders here. They would have lost jobs. So with those jobs lost, we are saying kudos to our parents. Even with those jobs lost, you still send these children out as best as you can. Even with the doubling of the fare sometimes, because the children sometimes have to wear their plain clothes because uniforms are damaged. So we are saying use it. We can help our students to think now about financial literacy, how to budget, and what they learn.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because that's something I actually wanted to pose to Deja and to our next guest. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong, Zaisha. On the issue of, because Mrs. Cowell Bailey just raised a very important point about now looking at educating our students, just our school community, on things like financial literacy, on things like, just sustainability, those kinds of discussions that we probably have never really had before. So let me ask the head girl first. Deja, can you tell us what role student leadership will play in resilience education, in just enabling students to truly overcome the challenges that they've faced with this hurricane?
Student leadership is definitely essential in a period like this. I mean, we are the role models on campus. And so it is our duty then to ensure that we can relay certain information to the students. And not just student leadership, but youth leadership on all. It extends outside of the institution and goes into our community. As student leaders, we're also role models within our community. So how we can touch others around us.
That's so important. Is there anything you want to share on that point, Zaisha?
Okay, so student leadership is indeed important in times like these, and us as student leaders, it is our time to step up and to show the students that we are there for them, that we understand them, and that we're going to go through this together. As student council president, what I have done, I have organized a donation drive at my school just to get some donations to help our students who are in need, those who have been displaced without food, and just to show them that we are there for them and there is hope and that we will go through this together.
That's so important, and I love that you're doing something practical with that, because it's one thing to say we need to rise up and do this and that, but when you see students who are actually getting mobilized and doing something about what they see, that's big. That's big.
Yeah, absolutely. And Deja, on that point, when you assess what is going on based on where you are, what you see every day, what do you think is most important right now? Just in case, someone is listening, someone who is a mover and a shaker, what do you believe is most important right now?
Most important right now, the destruction was very widespread. It was very catastrophic. There isn't just one thing that we need. Right now, food is a big thing for persons. We don't have electricity. Right now, my generator is on. It's only on for 2 hours during the day.
Wow.
So we cannot store any food either. It's just tin food. I know that there are a lot of persons who were displaced. Some persons, they had a lot of damage to their homes. It's still livable, but there was damage to that. So shelter is a big thing right now. I mean, I know that the teachers, they're also struggling with that. And the finance on a whole, I mean, everybody was affected financially. Even if we have a roof over our head, even if we have a generator, gas prices are there. There is so much that we need right now. I cannot identify just one thing.
Wow, I can just imagine. All right, we're going to jump straight into a quick break. You are listening to Campus Connection. We're having a very interesting conversation around resilience education as we take our final break in the final show for the season 2025. So you want to stick and stay with us for more Campus Connection after these messages.
See all my adult face bruise up? They beat me just because I said I'm tired.
I'm only 13, but they said if I work harder, they will make me go back home.
Me not have no birth paper nor no ID. Them have all of my documents them. Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. Report suspected cases of human trafficking. Call the nearest police station 119 or 888-PROTECT. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Every Christmas, Auntie Yvonne gives her all to help those around her. Down to the last malta she have. She always say, do good and good will find you. So I grabbed a couple cold malta out of my cooler and gave it to her. She smiled, we stood up and started helping, lifting and sharing what little we had. That is what the good you give does in the festive season. It makes others want to give and helps lift somebody else up.
DNG Malta, the good you give.
Okay, where are the campus eyes? Students are strap up in a price.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection. We're inside our final segment of this year's final show. Wow. It sounds surreal when you say it that way, but that's what's happening. And just before the break, we were talking about resilience education and the importance of just overcoming the challenges that we faced as a nation. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to our guests who joined us, Mrs. Kohal Bailey, and thank you to you, Zaisha Walker and Deja Brimmer from the Manning School. And they were just sharing with us. So guys, thank you so much for being on with us. We are jumping now to our education news and bulletin. And today it's a special one, guys. And that's why we saved it for the end. We have our education news and bulletin brought to us today by Camille Lawrence. So you definitely want to listen into that. And we will be back after the news.
Thank you.
News and bulletins for Tuesday, December 16, 2025. Schools invited to enter STEAM in Action Innovation Challenge. The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information is inviting schools across the island to enter the upcoming Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts and Mathematics STEAM in Action Challenge to be staged on Thursday, January 29, 2026 as part of National STEAM Education Week. The competition, being held under the theme Creating Solutions, Driving Change, will encourage students to apply problem-solving methodologies, such as the design thinking process and the engineering design process, to address real-world issues. A bulletin issued by the ministry said that National STEAM Education Week will be observed from January 25 to 31, 2026, and is designed to deepen public participation while promoting a learning model that equips students not only with knowledge, but also with creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills needed to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Schools participating in the challenge will be required to showcase projects to include categories such as renewable energy solutions, climate solutions, robotics and automation, health innovations, agriculture and food security, and environmental advocacy through the arts. Schools participating in the challenge must have completed STEM training by December 2025. Each school may submit up to 3 entries, with projects presented on trifold display boards outlining the problem identified, background research, solution ideas, prototype sketches or models, and next steps. Documentary evidence of student participation, including artifacts, prototypes, and photographs, will also be required. Outstanding projects will be recognized at the national level, with special acknowledgement given to initiatives that demonstrate creativity, innovation, collaboration, and community impact. Registration for the STEAM in Action Challenge closes on Friday, December 12, 2025. However, special consideration will be extended to schools impacted by Hurricane Melissa, which will benefit from an extended deadline of January 8, 2026, as well as subsidies and psychosocial support. These schools are also invited to participate in the special category Build Back Better, Resilient Schools Challenge, which focuses on recovery and resilience. For more information on how to submit their entries, schools may contact their regional STEM leads or the core curriculum unit at francine.tcampbell@moey.gov.jm or by telephone 876-967-7867, extension 2101, or call 876-398-5348. The Jamaica Constabulary Force launches Children Advocacy, Recovery and Empowerment Initiative. The Jamaica Constabulary Force has rolled out its Children's Advocacy, Recovery and Empowerment CARE initiative to support the needs of displaced youth following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Led by the Community Safety and Security Branch, CSSB, of the JCF and the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse, the CARE project has facilitated Christmas villages within several underserved communities in Western Jamaica, raising community spirit, giving hope, and spreading Christmas cheer. This initiative has benefited over 3,000 children and families residing within 3 of the most impacted parishes and is set to engage the parishes of Hanover on Thursday, December 18 and St. James on Saturday, December 20, 2025. The JCF welcomes the public support of the CARE initiative through donations in the form of clothing items, child-friendly resources such as games, books, school supplies, and personal care items. We will now hear from Natalie Taylor, Director of Corporate Communications, Constabulary Communications Network of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Lisa, so the CARE villages are about bringing them solace, comfort, and joy. It's about helping to bolster their resilience and confidence as they muster through this major shift in their lives. The villages are designed to equip the adults, their parents or guardians, with targeted information and skills to help them protect their children from exploitation and abuse during this moment of displacement. The villages themselves are full of fun and good Christmas vibes. Your children and families in these areas can experience the normalcy of life and the joys of the festive season. It's all about interactions that are hearty and healing.
And now for the bulletins. Love Restores. This Saturday, December 20, experience Season Splendor 2025, a powerful benefit concert in aid of Hurricane Melissa victims in Western Jamaica. Brought to you by Love 101 FM, X-Friends, and Crosslinks Production, featuring performances by Lubert Levy, Petra Kay, Jai Kingston, Chris Malachi, Rhoda Isabella, Ryan Davis, Minister Dwight Positive Campbell, Perpetual Sounds of Praise, and the Genesis Praise Squad. Hosted by Dr. Nadine Blair with dances by Wycat's Soul of Dance. This Saturday, December 20 at Emancipation Park, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Admission is free, so bring your donations in cash or kind. That's Season Splendor Benefit Concert 2025, this Saturday, December 20. See you there. And as the Christmas season is upon us, here are some Christmas break tips. To make the most of your Christmas break, focus on a blend of rest, connection, and self-improvement to return refreshed and ready for the new year. Rest and rejuvenate. Catch up on some sleep. Prioritize getting a full night's sleep to recover from a busy schedule. Unplug from screens. Minimize time spent on social media and consider logging out of work emails to truly disconnect. Indulge in self-care. Dedicate some time to activities like taking a long bath, reading a novel, or trying a new recipe you've been wanting to make. Enjoy a staycation. Transform your home into a cozy haven with decorations and holiday music. Sometimes the best break is one spent relaxing right where you are. Connect with others. Spend quality time with family and friends. Host a low-key game night. Watch a classic holiday movie, or simply have a meaningful conversation. Give back to the community. Volunteering at a local food bank or shelter provides a sense of fulfillment and help those in need during the festive season, especially in areas that were damaged by Hurricane Melissa. Reconnect virtually. If you can't see loved ones in person, arrange a video call to catch up and share holiday cheer. Pursue hobbies and growth. Get active outdoors. Take a walk in nature. Fresh air is a natural mood booster. Try something new. Learn a new skill. Start a journal. Or pick up a creative hobby like painting or baking. Reflect and set goals. Use the quiet time to think about the past year's accomplishments and set intentions or make a realistic plan for the new year. Organize your space. Take some time to clean out your closet. Organize your study materials or declutter your living area to start the new year fresh. Remember, the goal is to make your break a positive experience, so don't feel pressured to do everything. Focus on what is best for your own well-being. From your Campus Connection team, we wish you a joyful holiday season. May you always remember that Jesus is the reason for this season. Stay grounded in faith, and may the coming year bring you renewed hope, abundant joy, and new opportunities. I am Camille Law.
All right, thank you very much, Camille Lawrence. There, our campus consultant, giving us all the happening in our education news and bulletin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final show, or has been the final show for 2025. Boy, the year running off so fast. I was sharing with somebody.
I don't know.
Said that he will make the day short for the elect's sake. I don't think he was joking about that. In all honesty, the days are really short at this point in time, and so we want to thank you. Take this time to thank you for riding with us in 2025. It was indeed a very interesting year, and as we wrap the show, we are inviting our guests all the way from the West to share in 30 seconds. It have to be quick, very quick, guys.
Let's make it 15.
Words, or 15 seconds. Final words that you want to leave. All of Jamaica and the world is listening. Deja, we'll start with you.
15 seconds. Hold on. this The hurricane has been a very traumatic experience, and I believe that as a nation that we can push through it. I mean, especially as a student in the next 10 to 15 years, it will be us telling our experiences, and we want that story to be that we pulled through despite our circumstances, despite what we're facing, we were able to overcome.
Awesome. Zaisha?
I'm sorry, I did not quite catch the question. Will you mind repeating for me, please?
Your final thoughts in 15 seconds.
Can you repeat that?
Your final thoughts in 15 seconds.
Okay. I just want to say to all the students out there, we got this, and there is hope. And next school term will be bigger and better. Don't get down by the disaster that you see around your campus. We got this.
Awesome. Mrs. Bailey, your final 15 seconds.
Okay. I'm saying that we're in the Advent season and there was no room in the inn, but they found shelter in a stable. So if we are in our stable situation, remember, the storm may have passed, but the hope and promise of new beginnings remain. And just like the stable, these tough times can become a place of refuge and transformation. So
Awesome.
just enjoy your stable situation. God bless.
Awesome. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Campus Connection 2025. Wow. We made it to the end of yet another wonderful season. Yeah, but it is what it is. Big up the team. I always have to big up the team. Jermaine Johnson, Niku Angus, Shania Smith, Daniel Cox, David Sutton, Eden Palmer, Ruth Lawrence, Camille Lawrence, Raquel Robertson. Thank you so much. And to all the guests that we would have interviewed, we have, we chill with on the show for 2025. Big up yourself, big up my co-host, right?
Big up my co-host.
Yeah. Big up a sponsor. Listen. Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign from Ministry of National Security and Peace. Boy, big up yourself. Thank you so much for believing in Campus Connection and being with us in 2025. We are so very grateful for you. That's it for the show this week and for the year 2025. See you not next week, but next year. As we explore more things while going on campus. I am Jonathan Fletcher.
And I'm Anesta. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year when it comes.
Oh yes, we create the space just for you. We talk about you, we talk about school, government and politics, sports, academics, anything that concern you. I don't know when.
Here to the Family Radio, broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. We're Love 101 FM. The time is now 6:31 p.m. It's that time of day for us to